brought up.
Well, he said that this was a matter of Homeland Security.
He said Homeland Security, did he?
Yeah, it did.
Correct it, Walter. Go ahead. You still got it.
This was an issue of if this was almost close to like slavery because we were forcing them to work when they were like trying to stop.
That actually was an argument. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not necessarily the Truman made, but the sense was it's like slavery by forcing these striking workers to go back and work against their will. Maybe more specifically involuntary servitude.
Yes.
But yeah, I can totally go there. But what were the tests? Because these are the important things. What were the tests from Youngstown versus Sawyer? Your group still got it. 5, 4, 3 tests. 3, 2,
Pass.
1. Go ahead.
The 3 tests were that if concerning the president deciding to make a decision to overtake a company,
Okay.
or deciding to make a decision as
Give me the test. Don't ruin it.
If Congress and the president agree, or if the Congress does not decide but the president says yes, there's a go ahead.
Okay, if the Congress and President agree, where does that make President authority?
Approved.
Approved. It's going to make presidential authority 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at its highest level. So basically the court's saying if Congress and President agree, we're going to defer to the elected branches, and odds are you're going to be able to do what you want. Okay, give me the second test.
If Congress does not agree or does not decide but president says yes,
Then what?
then it's middle ground but it's a go ahead because
Yeah.
the president's.
Go ahead.
And then the lowest.
Actually, hang on. Okay, so while you're looking at this.
Thank you.
Okay, so number 2 on this. When President, yeah, this isn't for y'all. When President is Congress and President, when the Congress is silent on what the President does, the President still has Article 2 powers, which are significant. Not as high as when Congress and President agree, but we're going to give them the presumption of legality.
Right.
What's the third one?
If the Congress and President disagree or have opposing views, the President has to prove that what he wants to decide is legal.
Okay, and so what does that mean?
That only if it's proven legal, then what the decision is can move forward.
Okay, you said the first 2 are approved. What's the third one more than likely?
Possibly.
The third one, more than likely, the presumption of guilt, not guilt, but the presumption of legality is going to be against the president on this one because it's the president's power minus the significant power of Congress. Odds are that action is going to get struck down. Those are the 3 tests. Now, one more thing. As Commander-in-Chief, firsthand I see, where are you supposed to be legally allowed to use your Commander-in-Chief powers? Firsthand I see.
Military?
Go ahead.
In the military?
Okay, what does that mean?
Meaning anything that has to do with the army and declaring war.
Well, Truman was saying in this instance, I'm acting as Commander-in-Chief because I need steel in order to save the troops overseas. That got struck down. So that's -5. Where can you use this? And give me geography. Pretty big. Go ahead.
Within the U.S.
-5.
Yes.
You guys want a piece of this?
No.
Outside of the borders. You're supposed to use the president, the Commander-in-Chief power, typically outside of the borders. Okay, and you just keep up. Yeah, use the mouse on these because you're giving away some things on this. Okay, pick me a category because
We answered last.
y'all gave me the last correct answer.
No, they give you the last wrong answer.
Okay, y'all gave me the last correct answer. Pick me a category. Go. Go, Aaron's group.
Courts for one.
Gotta go, gotta go.
Courts for one.
Courts for 1. Original and appellate jurisdiction. Firsthand I see. What's the difference between these 2? Go ahead, Kevin. 4, 3,
The original courts, as in if the Supreme Court is given a case and it's the original location that the case is heard, then that's the final decision.
-1. Go ahead, Annette. I think I saw your
The
hand.
original jurisdiction can be in the state, and appellate jurisdiction would be an appeals court if the case went to appeal.
I'm sorry, we're talking about Supreme Court original and Supreme Court appellate jurisdiction.
The
4,
original jurisdiction
3.
would be a court case in a state. The appellate jurisdiction would be the an appeals court.
-1. Go ahead, Walker.
The original jurisdiction, the power of a court to hear and decide a case first. Appellate jurisdiction.
Okay, stop right there. The Supreme Court, when it has original jurisdiction, means that it is the first and it is the only court that will hear a case. There was a lot of stuff in there. I'm sorry, Catherine. That's okay. So that is true. And what's appellate?
The appellate jurisdiction, the power of a court to receive cases from trial courts for the purpose of reviewing whether the legal procedures are properly followed.
Yeah, that's true. Appellate jurisdiction is going to be basically the case is decided at a lower level, but it gets to the Supreme Court so that they can determine the fitness or the correctness of the ruling, the process, the fairness. Go ahead, click it. Pick me another category, Walker's group. Good job.
The court's number 2, 2 points.
Difference between civil law and criminal law, firsthand. You got it.
Civil law is when there's a dispute between two parties, and criminal law is
Okay, two parties. What do you mean two parties?
like two people.
Two people.
Person
okay.
versus person.
It's kind of hard to explain. Like criminal law is when someone commits a crime against the society.
Okay.
So, the person is defended against the state.
Okay, so criminal law is going to be the state versus the individual. That's 2.
And
No,
the.
no.
1, 2. And then civil law is going to be
Civil law is-
individual versus individual. 1,
Correct.
2.
And civil law has to deal with money, and criminal law generally has to do with time or punishment in some other form besides financial.
Civil law, you're suing for damages. You're suing
Right.
for money. So when O.J. Simpson cut off the head of his wife and killed her ex-lover, okay, when he did this, civil law basically said that they were suing, the families were suing for
Right.
damages. Okay, in criminal
won.
law, it would have been the state of California going after O.J. Simpson for murder, and indeed, it would be punishment would be time, imprisonment. Punishment could conceivably be fines, but not damages, but state fines. The third thing, obviously, would be potential execution or death penalty.
Within his case, they won the civil case, but they lost the criminal case.
That is true. Go ahead.
In civil law, you need a preponderance of evidence to be found guilty. In criminal law, you need to be proven beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yeah, the difference of proof is going to be pretty significant too. You basically have to be almost 100% sure, not necessarily 100%, but you've got to be significantly more likely than not in a criminal case because your freedom and your life are considered more important than your money. In a civil case, you just have to be more likely than not that something happened, again, because it's just dealing with money. Go ahead and click it, Jeremy. Civil. Go ahead and click it again, Jeremy. Stop right there. Citizen versus citizen for money. Criminal. State versus citizen. Fine, imprisonment, and possibly your life. Go ahead. Pick me a category. Y'all gave me the last correct answer. Gotta go.
Turkey pig.
4.
Three points.
Discrimination.
For what? 3 for courts. List all you can. Go ahead. Stick figure. You guys have it firsthand, I see. You got it. You're
Okay.
next. Stick figure.
The little kid was at school and drew a picture of him shooting a friend as a stick figure with a weapon, and the school decided to kick him out of class for that day because they felt that.
What state?
New Jersey.
New Jersey. What did New Jersey have?
Zero tolerance.
Zero tolerance on. Zero tolerance on guns. What does that mean? 1, 2, 3.
You
That
can draw guns, you can't bring them to school, you can't. Anything to do with guns was bad.
In the interest of basically saying, okay, in the interest of basically saying we do not want to socialize kids for guns, New Jersey had a zero tolerance policy on guns. And the idea was that if you brought a gun to school, you're going to get suspended. If you brought something that looked like a gun to school, you're going to get suspended. If you brought a rubber band gun with the clothespin, you're going to get suspended. And in this instance, if you drew a picture of a stick figure shooting somebody, okay, you're going to get suspended. Zero tolerance. What was the picture? 4,
was-
3.